The day is finally here. If you're in the Shadow Work Library, send me a message right now. I've got a personal hand-delivered invitation to the new student community. 2025, only for 2025, we are doing group calls. We've got a private community space, and I have been spending weeks, and quite literally months, in terms of the entire back end, getting this ready for you. We have reached the moment. Roya, I can see you in the chat. Hello, Happy New Year. I know you're in the Shadow Work Library. Send me a message right now. Over on Instagram, put yourself at the top of my inbox. I've got a personal hand-delivered invitation to the private community. It is all up and running. I have been working like a madman from Christmas Eve until today. Golf balls are coming in, but we will not go down with this shift. We've got too much to talk about, too much to learn, too much to teach. The Shadow Work Library community is now live. I'm going to be talking about it on this stream. We're going to be looking at the link in the description. I've not only got the Shadow Work Library to announce and share with you, we've got the group calls, we've got the community space, we've got new friendships on the way. You can see the link in the description. If you're super eager and watching live, I've got a whole new website. Not just the Shadow Work Library, but the School of Self-Integration. Let's go for a walk, let's talk about it. I'm going to share with you, in classic New Year's energy fashion, what I have been working on for months behind the scenes. I see everyone in the chat. Happy New Year. Happy New Year from all over the world. 2025 is a year to thrive. We are launching into this wonderful sunset. And I'm going to be talking about the Shadow Work Library. I'm going to be sending out some hand-delivered... Oh, look at all these people. Dozens of people in the chat. Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year. What a beautiful sunset we have. Look at this. Golf balls coming in. Got some very exciting news to share with you. As you can see from the title of today's stream, the community is now live. Tomorrow I will be sending out the group email to everyone who's joined the Shadow Work Library in 2024. But if you want to join early, if you want a hand-delivered email straight into your inbox, and you want to join today, you want to be part of the community space, you want to be ready for the group call on Sunday, and the group calls which are going to be happening every single week on Sunday, 7 o'clock till 8:30 UK time, which is the best time internationally. Now is the time to pay attention. We're going to do weekly calls for January and February, and then 2 calls per month all the way through 2025. If you're already in the Shadow Work Library, you're not paying any extra. This is just included. Look at all these Happy New Years in the chat. 2025 will be beautiful. I agree. I'm going to talk a lot about what's coming from me as a teacher this year, not only on YouTube, but also the private community. If you've been enjoying these live streams and you've been enjoying going backwards and forwards, you get the opportunity to now do that in real time. I see Roya in the chat. So excited. Yeah, Roya, you joined the Shadow Work Library, I think, just a few weeks ago. I know you've got a busy personal schedule, but you still made time to read the books, and you're going to enjoy those calls. Every single Sunday, January, February, check the link in the description, because if you go down there, I've got a special gift for you. I've finally entered the world of websites. Although I like hanging out here on the offline world, I've been patiently working behind the scenes with my best friend, one of my best friends, who's a web designer, and he is a genius at this kind of stuff, and I've got a custom-built, brand new website for the School of Self-Integration. It's not only the place to find out about what I'm building, it's got, honestly, far too much writing in terms of how much you're meant to have on a website, but I want you to be able to read my vision, my intention, what my plan is for not only this year, but the year ahead. And you'll also be able to see every single post that I've ever put up on YouTube, all of my writing, right there for you to consume, right there for you to gobble up into your senses. Everything's all in one place now. The website's there. Click the link in the description. You'll be able to see it even if you're watching live. selfintegrationschool.com. First time announcing it publicly, that is what I'm doing. Feels good. Feels good. I saw lots of love in the chat, and I'm happy to announce on this wonderful, beautiful sunset stream that I am the creator, founder and head teacher slash visionary, whatever you want to call me, of the School of Self-Integration. I'm trying to make what I believe to be the best holistic, intermediate and advanced psychological curriculum in the world. I'm not going to be humble, that is what I'm trying to do. I've spent 5 years researching. I've read over 700 psychology books, I've reread 164 of them, still rereading more of them, and I'm putting them into a curated 30 modules, and over 330 videos in that. Group calls, community space, School of Self-Integration. That is what I'm working on throughout the whole of this year. And we will be doing admission only. You can't just pay to get in, it's admission only, like a real school. It's somewhere between, well, energetically, it's like a master's degree. It's like, legally speaking, it's like a master's degree, and it's like a group therapy space combined together. That is what we're doing over at the School of Self-Integration. And you can see from the link in the description, the brand new website. I see L in the chat saying, I can never trust a man with an eyebrow piercing. You're wise to not trust me. I think that actually having a little bit of metal in my face probably reveals my derangement and untrustworthiness. So forget the fact that I have devoted my entire life to trying to support you for the last 5 years. The metal in the face does give it away. So I actually, in all fairness, now might be the moment. I'm going to discard this little bit of metal, take it out, new year, new me, cast it into the sunset, and give everyone a truly professional experience of a proper button collar teacher. Or we can get our weight vests on, get our boots on the ground, and enjoy a holistic, self-integrated lifestyle. I see Renee, nothing in the chat, nothing wrong with a bit of metal. I love metal, I agree. And I also don't think the individual who said I can't trust a man with an eyebrow on their face, I don't think they were being too serious. We're all having a good time here. Look at the sunset. I'm very glad that this is the first sunset of the year. Gorgeous. Gonna check the chat, see what people have been saying. Seeing in the chat now. What have we got? Lots of congratulations. I see from East Side, West Side. How much do you think making the videos was a part in the learning the contents you discuss within them? Fantastic question. To what degree have I needed to teach to be able to learn? Well, Mr. Clark, I see Mr. Clark's classroom coming in right on time. Billy, I see you. Wonderful news with the school. Congratulations. Certainly the way education needs to be heading. Billy, send me a message over on Instagram because I've included your Shadow Work Library testimonial in the opening freebie newsletter sign up because you left such a wonderful testimonial a few months back from your very positive experience inside the Shadow Work Library, and it was too good not to share. So I'd love to have a little chat with you, and also thank you personally because honestly, if you're watching this, anyone who's watching this live, go click the link in the description. You'll see a sign up for my newsletter. I'm going to be sending you emails every week, the same community post, nice writing, dense education, but also I've got a little gift for you. Yeah, see Billy in chat, no problem, I'll send you a message now. Billy, I look forward to it. If you want to know why I'm talking about Billy, Billy is a student in the Shadow Work Library and arguably one of the most intense and devoted students from way back. At the time of his testimonial, he'd read 23 of the 36 books in the Shadow Work Library. Pretty cool, pretty dedicated individual. And if you go down to the link in the description, here's my gift to you. I've rambled enough. I'm going to do the proper professional sales pitch. To celebrate the Shadow Work Library being launched to a new stage of community prosperity, I wanted to do something which is very unreasonable. It's so unreasonable that it's a very classic Jordan move, but I couldn't make it work. What I wanted to do is a bit silly, but it's what my heart wanted to do. It doesn't make financial sense either, but it's what my heart wanted to do. What I wanted to do, to celebrate the relaunch of the Shadow Work Library after a year of successful self-paced studies, dozens of people, talking to people one-to-one, now that we've got a live community, and we're going to be doing group calls, I wanted to go old school. I wanted to create the energetic equivalent of you signing up to a postgraduate style course. You show up at the School of Self-Integration, you sign, I'm ready for transformation, and I have a welcome gift for you. My welcome gift, if I could have it my way, in the old school vision, in my imagination, would be that I have a desk, and on the desk I have 50, 60, 100 copies of every single book in the Shadow Work Library. Imagine that, a massive desk, 36 stacks, all of them 100 books each, and I could say to you, welcome to the Shadow Work Library, choose 6 books, and off you go. The first 6 books are on me. That's what I wanted to do, and I've been mentally enjoying this imagery. You can see how happy I am. I've been mentally enjoying this imagery. Unfortunately, we're in a digital world, and that's logistically impossible. I can't literally ship out 6 of the books of your choosing to everyone around the world. I could technically do it, but I hope you can appreciate that it would be a massive logistical effort, and I'd definitely raise some suspicions with my accountant about all of the repeat copies of the books I'm buying and why I'm shipping them so globally. So I've tried to do the next best thing. Energetically speaking, I want to welcome you into the Shadow Work Library this year. I want to give you the opportunity to go deeper into your psyche and your soul and your soma than you've ever been, and to join the community space and give you those 6 books free, but I can't do it. I can't logistically get it there. So what I've done is, if you click the link in the description, you will see an email sign up and a 6-book study guide. And what I've done is I've recommended 6 of the all-time top books that I see students loving inside the Shadow Work Library, and I'm giving you a discount code for £75, which is about the same price as 6 second-hand books, to buy those books on your behalf, or any of the 36 books that you'll see in the Shadow Work Library. So effectively, you get 10% off of the Shadow Work Library fees, from $7.50 down to $6.75, and energetically speaking, we get as close as we possibly can to old school community vibes. Hey buddy. Have a great walk. Look how this guy is. Oh, he had a massive stick in his mouth. Sometimes I wish I was a German Shepherd with a massive stick in my mouth, honestly. Forget the Shadow Work Library. I think we all just wish that we had that canine joy. Is there anything better than just a massive stick in your mouth? Anyway, can't even get through my own sales promotion. Point is, I wish I could give you 6 books for free, but because I can't do that in the real world, I'm going to do it in the digital world. Link in the description. You're going to get a free PDF study guide, the top 6 books I see Shadow Work Library students loving. And if you want to join the Shadow Work Library, you're going to see student experiences, like I mentioned, Billy's experience inside the Shadow Work Library. You can see someone else's experience in there as well, and you're gonna get a transformation. But link down in the description. I think I've said enough on that for now. Let's talk in real time, and we'll come back to the Shadow Work Library later. What is everyone doing? How's your new year been? For me personally, you can probably tell I'm in pretty good spirits. Oh, East Side, West Side, you actually brought back the question, how much of the learning was in the teaching? Very good point. How much of the book learning needed to be taught? I would say maybe the final 30%. With trauma healing, personal trauma healing, that was 90% me, and then refinements while teaching it with other people. In terms of psychological concepts, maybe 30% of it is when it's outwards bound, but I learn from books very well, if I'm being honest. I can read books and comprehend the information very effectively. So although articulation is useful, I find that reading a book and writing my own notes or typing them up is the majority of my learning. And teaching is learning, but it's that final third. The foundation is definitely there, for me personally, when I've just read a book and I've paid attention to it. So that's me. Check out these sheep. The sheep are in the field. It's got snow this week in the UK. They're kind of far away. You can just about see them over there on the horizon. Maybe we'll go into the sheep field again, or we'll just go and enjoy the views. I don't think we're going to cross this barbed wire. or continue into the sunset. Let me know in the chat as well. How have people been? 6 massive sticks for free. I think that is actually, you know what, Big Red Bass in the comments. 6 massive sticks for free, paper equals wood. Fuck. I should update my entire promotional funnel. Forget the fact that I've spent months thinking about this. Forget the fact that I've spent months working with my best friend trying to get the website up and running. I have spent so many hours this week, an unbelievable amount of hours hooking up the back-end coding of the newsletter sign-up and getting the automation working with ActiveCampaign. I don't like this stuff. You know I don't like this stuff. I resist all of the business things. I didn't even have a website for the first 3.5 years of coaching. I don't use email. But this idea here, 6 big sticks for free. Might need to change my whole promotional strategy. Would you join the Shadow Work Library if I promised you 6 big sticks for free? Really good sticks. Maybe we find some sticks on this walk. Actually, that's a better idea. I'm going to find 6 really good sticks on this walk. You're going to private message me your personal address, and then I'm going to do a raffle for everyone who's here on this live stream. And if you're the lucky winner, you will get the 6 big sticks for free, and you get to be in the Shadow Work Library and enjoy the 36 books and the group calls every Sunday and your new friends that you'll make inside of there. I think it is worth it. I think it is worth it. I'd definitely buy an online course if I got 6 big sticks. It's debatable at what point a stick is a twig or a stick becomes a branch. How thick does the stick need to be? I don't know. Hopefully we won't get any complainers or bad reviews. Don't lower my Trustpilot rating. I see in the chat, Leah, I could trade you some big sticks from Canada. I see that there. Might make 1984 fiction again. 6 big sticks, deal a lifetime. I think so. I think so, honestly. If what I'm going to do is, when I get back down to my home, I'm going to give my best friend a call. I'm going to make sure that he stays up all night. We're going to do an all-nighter. We're going to rework the entire promotional strategy and back-end system and focus on the old-school stick-based delivery. Got sticks from the Holy Land, Rini says. Fantastic. Blessed sticks. Blessed sticks. We're having a lot of fun over here. I see Shadow Sister Healing in the chat. Happy New Year, Jordan. It's a great day today for me. I designed all the minor arcana tarot cards today. My last card was fittingly the 4 of Wands, and it became my Equinox Sisters card. Now I've got 74 out of 78 cards. Congratulations. I think there's a lot of energy, creatively speaking, in the air right now. I was saying to one of my friends who also does coaching and teaching, I think 2025 is the year to thrive, not just in a rhyming sense, but energetically as well. 2020, 2021, 2022, we had all kinds of global chaos. 2023 and 2024 were just about restabilizing. And there's a lot of optimism in the air. Can you feel that? It's floating around us. A hell of a lot of optimism. I personally enjoyed crossing over into the New Year's at the gym. I'm going to share some stories on Instagram, I think, today. I was in the gym at the stroke of midnight doing muscle-ups because I like starting my New Year's energetically with the exact energy that I want to amplify and repeat throughout the year. And I thought it'd be a little bit of fun in between my normal stay up all night and work and create and then see the first sunrise of the year. Made sure I was in the gym doing muscle-ups on the rings at the moment the clock went 12, and you'll see those stories over on Instagram. Maybe after this. You don't need to be an absolute lunatic training at midnight. I just happen to like training late. I wanted to train that day. Why not do it at midnight? And the fireworks went off. So did my heart. Yeah, optimism is the theme, for sure. You don't need to be a fitness fanatic or a teacher or a coach or someone who's into healing and spiritual leadership, but I think everyone at an individual level, especially people who are here in this live or people who are interested in my channel, there's a lot of There's hope. There's hope in the air. Do you feel that? How can you not be hopeful? Let's set you up down here. Just put the bin. Give me just a minute. It's beautiful today. I agree, Rennie. I agree. Very good. It's nice to give my arm a break. We're meant to have snow this week in the UK. We're meant to get up to 5 or 6 centimeters potentially. The floor is becoming frosty. There are fronds of ice appearing on the grass. It's a very good time to be alive. Very good time. I'm happy to honestly be here. I'm really grateful. Today's live stream will be mostly about the new energy with the private community and the Shadow Work Library, because that has been all I've really focused on for weeks in a row. Interestingly, December, I looked at the data. I've got the data for the entirety of 2024, and for some reason, December saw the most new students inside of the Shadow Work Library, even on the pre-announcement to the new community. We've only just started today, right now, opening the doors, but something was growing inside of me, or something was happening energetically that seemed to be welcoming more and more people into this deep space of introspection. I think that in this winter in particular, there's that simultaneous sense of death and rebirth. I know that personally I have my Shadow Work Library. It's 36 books related to full spectrum shadow psychology. That's all well and good. Fundamentally, at an energetic level, the entire experience of being inside of my course is a death and rebirth process at the physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual level. And I think there's something about deep inner work and genuine introspection in the wintertime in particular, December, January, and February, which is so naturally cohesive. What do you think? For me personally, when I think of my times of great transformation and great breakthrough, it doesn't really happen in the summer months. In the summer months, I'm barefoot and shirtless and spending lots of time outside, and I'm not really looking inward so much. I'm enjoying the outer world. I'm enjoying the heat. I'm enjoying the socialization. I'm enjoying the opportunity. In the winter, when it's colder and your fingers are at risk of falling off from the frost, you haven't got much else to do when it gets dark at 4:30 in the evening, but spend time by candlelight with your journal, with a great book, and with your own thoughts and your past and your present and your future all coming together. I see Leah in the chat, or Leah, excuse me. Yes, we are meant to rest at this time of year. We're meant to hibernate like bears. I agree. We're meant to hibernate. We are meant to look inwards at the very least, even if we're not literally going into the cave, and we're, maybe you put on your pounds of fat so you can get ready for the winter. You put on your equivalent of 12 kilograms of extra weight. I think winter's the time for it. Winter is the time for deep inner work. The reason that I've waited until January to open up the private community, even though I could have technically done this back in the summer or in the autumn, is I think energetically speaking, based on the astrological calendar, based on the seasons of the UK and the fact that most people, maybe like yourself, are in the Western Hemisphere and it's currently winter time, this is the time for it. I'm not an enthusiastic, you're going to get a quick win kind of teacher. The reason that I do what I do is that I know you won't get quick wins. I know that the advanced levels of inner work, the genuine trauma healing at the deeper levels, requires months of consistent process. It is painful. It's pretty terrifying at times. but it's also very joyful and it's very spiritually enlivening. And when you're doing the serious, honest, consistent work of looking at the shit from the past and being honest about the kind of person that you are and who you want to be in the future, that's not a quick process. I understand from my personal experience that genuine healing takes about 3 to 5 years of focused effort. This comes up in studies even as far back as the 1920s, if you look back at the old school psychoanalytic data from the times of Freud and Jung and Adler and Karen Horney and Melanie Klein. You'll see that there's these illusions within the documentation that if someone's in weekly therapy for about 3 to 5 years, they usually get better. The major neuroses are healed, the major abuses of the past, the reconciliations between mother and father and soul and self, they get resolved, and you don't need to be in therapy with a therapist every single week and paying, quite honestly, quite a large fortune over the course of 3 to 5 years. If you're in a major city, you're going to be paying 100, 150, 200 pounds an hour to go see a therapist every single week. Just 1 hour. Sometimes only 50 minutes. What I like to do is professionalize my own personal autotherapeutic process, and that's what I recommend for everyone who I work with, everyone who I talk to here on YouTube. The actual real breakthrough isn't the 1 hour that you spend therapy with a therapist. It's how many hours you therapeuticize the time in between, which means that you're spending 5, 6, 7 hours a week, minimum 1 hour per day, reading the therapy books, and you're living in that consciousness. What's the point of going to your therapy session on Wednesday and then switching off and going back into your normal life on Thursday? Much better to have a consistent morning or evening breathing practice and repeatedly rejuvenate and deepen into that process. And guess what? It's much, much cheaper. Much, much cheaper. As I mentioned about 10 minutes ago, if it were my way and I had all the power in the world to be able to run an old school, real face-to-face community, I might in the future, but I'm based near London and most of the people that I get to work with are in America or in mainland Europe. What I'd love to do is be able to meet you, shake your hand, have a 1 hour conversation and give you 6 books that you go and read in your own time, and then you read 6 more and 6 more. And you move all the way through the material, but fundamentally you professionalize your own self-healing. There is going to be no man or woman out there, no therapist, no incredible teacher or healer or spiritual guru who will be able to get you further than you will be able to get yourself. I really mean that. I saw some support coming in on the chat just there. I really believe this. You could be with the best therapist. You could be at the feet of Carl Jung himself. You could be working with Alexander Lowen. You could be learning from modern therapeutic teachers like Gabor Mate or Peter Levine or Bessel van der Kolk. But fundamentally, no matter how much you get from them in that 1 or 2 hour per week that you're with them, the majority of the work is done in a self-healing context, in the same way that if I was scraped on the cheek and I was bleeding on the cheek, it's my responsibility to pad that up, make sure it's clean, and over the next 2 weeks, my body heals itself because it's miraculous and powerful. It's the same with the soul. I really believe this. The self-healing process is metaphorically equivalent to the process that happens when you're wounded. Trauma is the intense, all the way to the end of the spectrum. Wounding is the middle ground. Bruising is before that. You can be bruised, you can be wounded, you can be traumatized. We throw the word trauma around as if that's the only word we should use, but it's a lazy synonym. Yes, trauma psychology. I study it, I recommend it. But also we need to look at the psychology of wounding, or the psychology of bruising. A bruise on the cheek takes 3 to 5 days to heal. A wound, maybe a few weeks. Trauma, a major hit, a gunshot to my face, that's there permanently, and that's months and months of damage. Depending on the severity of your childhood, or the severity of a relationship breakdown, an existential crisis where you feel like you've lost contact with your soul, bruising, wounding, trauma, where are you on that spectrum? And if you are bruised, it'll take some months of effort. If you're traumatized, It will take years of effort, usually 3 to 5 years, and I see it as my responsibility with the Shadow Work Library, with the School of Self-Integration, to try and contribute at the intermediate and advanced levels across the psyche, soma, soul, and do something to encourage you, basically, to encourage you to do the work for yourself. Because I don't believe that I can do it for you. I don't believe that no matter how articulately I could speak, no matter how energetically present I'd be, even if you were my client and we worked together for 4 months, I don't believe I can do it for you. We don't have the old clinical model of the doctor cures all wounds. We actually have a new model, which is that you are the primary healer in your own life. You're the person who does the thing. And not just your own personhood, but your spiritual essence. That's what really is the healing power. So all of the books I recommend on this channel, all of the videos that I create, all of the lessons inside the Shadow Work Library, all of the group community calls that you might choose to participate in, they're supportive, and they do provide doses of healing. But as we see in the chat, 100% you have to be willing to put in the work. I agree. I agree. Especially this winter season. Beautiful. Let's head down to the reservoir. We're going to see the water reflections maybe. I'll take a few comments or questions that come through. I see Emily in the chat. I've just bought 4 of the 6. I can't wait until I'm in a financial position to pay for the Shadow Work Library. Emily, fantastic. I think Emily's reporting there that she went and clicked the link in the description, signed up for the newsletter, and then within a few minutes you're going to get an email in your inbox. You're going to get my 6-book study guide. You're going to get the top 6 books that I recommend that you start off 2025 with. And Emily's bought 4 of them already. I can imagine which 4 you bought. I know one of them is more expensive than the rest. And most people say, oh, do I really need to get that book? Do I really need to get that one? It's so expensive. I'm like, well, compared to an hour with a therapist, it is dirt cheap. And if you look at the energy of a book written by a therapist who spent years to write a book, maybe you're getting a bargain. Most people tend to avoid spending more than £20 or £30 on a book for some reason. I just don't get it personally. I'm very happy to spend 50, 60 or £70 on a book. Many of the books in my library are out of print, so I have to spend a lot of money on them. A lot of money. But I also get that book for life. A book that someone spent years writing after decades of experience, rather than 1 hour of one-to-one therapy. Fantastic, but yeah. Emily, if you want to be like Emily, go down to the link in the description. You're going to get my 6 books recommended, and you're also going to get a promotional discount code for your first few weeks inside the Shadow Work Library. Best time to join. Honestly, best time to join. These community calls are only for 2025. At the end of this year, I will be closing them down because we're going to be moving into the School of Self-Integration. Let's head down to the reservoir. Definitely got some coldness on my fingers. And I'll see what's in the chat. I see Christopher in the chat. Exciting news, all of this, Jordan. Just catching up at the start of the live stream. Good to see you. Who else do we have in the chat? My fingers will function. I see Don Braidwood. Hello, Jordan. Thank you for your sincere help you give me. Don from South Wales. Don, pleasure. Absolute pleasure. I see Emily. Yes, I'll get that one next month, but it's in my wish list for Amazon. Good stuff, good stuff. And I see Lolly. I've not got any budget for books at the minute, but I've got Complex PTSD on the shelf waiting for me. Lolly, with all due respect, unless you are completely destitute, I say this with love, I say this with all the love in the world, you can afford a £10 second-hand book. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. I really, really want you to find that money. I really want you to find it. When I was transitioning out of my full-time traveling lifestyle, when I was backpacking around Europe, working on the farms, I spent 2 years living out of a backpack. I lived on about £110 a month. For 2 years, I was living on £110, £120 per month. I had no money at all because my prioritization wasn't money, it It was time and healing and presence and working on farms, learning skills, learning how to build houses. So I didn't need money, I just needed the time. And I volunteered on places, I got food and accommodation in return for my labour. It was a wonderful, wonderful 2-year period. But as you can imagine, when you spent 2 years learning how to build with your hands and you've taken odd bits of gig work, building something for some cash in hand that day, you haven't got much money. What do you think was happening in my in-between period between 2 years of backpacker travelling, volunteering, no money being made, very, very little money, and then becoming a full-time coach? There was a period in between, and I had very, very little money. I had some savings, and especially when I started coaching, I was charging very little amounts for my work. And guess what I did? I invested almost all of my money back into books. For that first year of transitioning from full-time traveller to starting my coaching and starting to make money in my own business, setting up my own business, on average per month, after paying taxes and paying for my food, like eating cheap as well, 50 or 60% of my money was going on second-hand books. So Lolly, although you said, I haven't got the money to buy the books right now, I haven't got the budget for it. If you're watching me on a smartphone and you're paying 30 or 40 pounds a month for an internet bill, and you have a few things that you buy from the groceries that aren't really necessary, or you could cut back on eating out, you can probably afford to find £100 a month for books. I guarantee it. I guarantee you can do it. I really do. And it's so worth it. You can buy second-hand books. You can get them for £5 to £10. And the return on investment for healing yourself is unbelievable. And it can be so cheap. So, so cheap. So I want that for you. If you are truly in dire, dire financial circumstances, then go to libraries. Find a way. I see decades of poor health has put me on benefits. Most of my money is going on survival. Next bit of free money is going on another healing book. Fantastic. I love to see it, honestly. Especially if you're already in a hard situation with poor health, to still make the effort right there. Thank you for receiving me. I'm not being hard on you as an individual. I just often hear from people about, I haven't got the money for this, I haven't got the money for that, but I think books are one of the cheapest possible gifts we could give ourselves. Let's go enjoy the sunset. Oh. It's amazing. It's really amazing. My fingers, as you can see, getting ready for the snow. I've seen many people in the chat today saying that they're either new in the Shadow Work Library, in which case I'm going to get back down to my home, and when I see your name in the course, I will send you a hand-delivered invitation to the private student community. Do send me a message immediately. I'll get that in your inbox. But if you're tempted to join the Shadow Work Library, but you're not yet sure, God, it's cold. You can see my voice. My voice is like There's a frost on the floor as well. See that? We're getting ready. We are getting ready. Snow's on the way. Yeah, the autodidacts figure it out resource and capability. Alex says second-hand books would be better in an English-speaking company. It's so interesting. Isn't it fascinating? When the body gets cold, the extremities start to fail. Fingers go first. The mouth also gets difficult. It's also, I'm holding this up. The things I do for you. Holistic Dan, looking forward to speaking tomorrow, Jordan. Looking forward to that too. Dan, I'm sure you don't mind me sharing because you just left this in the chat, but Dan and I are getting on a coffee chat, possible mentorship consultation tomorrow. He's interested in one of those spots. If you want one, you know where to find me. I've got a few spots available for 2025. I think 1 for this month, and then maybe 2 for next month. So if you want to work with me, been waiting for a few months, join me. Look at that. Absolutely gorgeous. What I'd like to do is set you up somewhere fun. that over there is a bit of a shed. I need something that I can mount you on. So what I'm going to do is try and find a post. I think I've got one for you. And I warm my fingers, get a bit of blood flowing, and reactivate my tongue as well. Yeah, Dan in the chat, I look forward to our conversation tomorrow as well. If you don't know, somehow you don't know that I do mentorships, go to the new website. Link in the description, selfintegrationschool.com. I finally entered the 21st century and I have a proper website for my proper professional coaching. I personally don't believe that you need websites to be successful in business anymore, in a general sense. I mean, I built if you're a coach, you're a teacher who's watching me, it's a little fun thing. Listen to this. Put you here. Oh, this is a good spot. This is a good spot. Check this out. And then we'll come in. Oh, look at that. Look at that. That look good? That look good? Yeah, that looks good. Let me reactivate my body. I'm going to stretch around and I'm going to tell you a little secret about how to be successful in business as a coach or a teacher or online creator. What I've learned from being full-time in this for 4.5 years. And I'm going to give you a super secret bit of advice. Oh. Ready? Ready? My super secret bit of advice, if you want to be successful online, is it doesn't fucking matter if you've got a nice website or a nice logo or a pretty brand image. None of that fucking matters. It doesn't. It doesn't matter at all. What matters is your character and your consistency and your integrity as a teacher, a leader, and a communicator. That's all that matters. You will see, especially this year, inside your inbox, if you're someone who has a couple thousand followers or you're someone who does teaching, you will see every single week more and more, let's be real, young men who are saying, let's scale your business, let's scale your business. They're pitching their services to you. They're saying, I can get you to 6 figures per month. I can get you to this. Here's an ad strategy. Here's a way to do a marketing campaign. Here's all this fucking bullshit. It won't work. It's a scam. I don't trust it. I don't trust it. You might get a wave. I'm not saying these people are scamming. Just to clarify, I'm not saying these people are scamming. I'm saying the idea. The idea is a scam. The entire collective thought form that there's a marketing trick or that there's a website optimization or there's an advertising funnel that can replace or supersede character, consistency, integrity, and communication skills. There isn't. I've built my business online by showing up. Admittedly, I've got a good camera, I've got a nice aesthetic library set up, but mainly the reason that you pay attention to me is I'm nice to listen to, I know what I'm talking about, I talk to you like a real human being, and I show up consistently solving problems or trying to solve problems that you care about. That's it. That's all I've done for years. Only now, almost 5 years deep into coaching full-time, do I actually have a fully functioning website. 5 years. You get that, right? Like, one of the classic things when you're searching how to start your new business, you're going to see in that list, make sure you've got your website up and running so your customers can find you. Bullshit. I don't like using emails. I haven't wanted to use websites. We voice note if we talk because it's close to a real conversation. You message me, I voice note back, you voice note back, and then we have a conversation and we talk, right? That's coaching and teaching, but that's also communication via YouTube or via Substack if you're writing, or via Twitter. If you're a coach, a teacher, a helper, a therapist, someone who's trying to use the internet to build your own business, focus on building yourself first. Become the kind of man or woman who is worth listening to, and then optimize with all the glitz and glamour. Truly. I'm excited that I've now got the website. but let's put it into proper proportion. I have my new website linked in the description. I have everything all nicely packaged together, and an email, marketing, promotion for my online product, years into becoming someone who honestly is the man that I am, and I'm happy to be this man. Everything else is secondary. It's not me. This is me. This is me talking to you. So if you're struggling to get started online, if you're struggling to be entrepreneurially expanded as a creative as well, as a teacher in one form or another, just be the thing. Be the person who is the real deal, and show up online with consistency, and eventually your audience will build, your reputation will build, and you'll be able to command more of a higher price point as you raise your prices over time. That's some business advice just here in this live stream as we enjoy this. I'm very, very happy to be starting the new year this way. Yeah, I see Violet in the chat. Showing up matters. I agree. You've seen me doing these live streams, right? Every single week I've done a live stream. I said publicly about 3 months ago, I'm going to do 4 live streams in 4 weeks in a row, and I just keep doing them. You know that I live stream. And I show up and I fulfill that promise. So, yeah, just pay attention to this stuff. I see Subconscious Sarah, thank you for the business advice, exactly what I needed to hear. I see that as well. I see, yeah, in the chat, I need to build consistency. I see Don Braidwood, what camera do I use? Currently I'm using my iPhone 14 Pro. When I'm back home, I have a Sony a7S III with a 35mm lens, and I color grade and post-production in DaVinci Resolve. I use a Rode NTG mic, and that's boomed overhead. The whole setup is a couple grand. I'm not sure how expensive it was, but when I started I had a Sony A6400, a Sony 6400. It's about £1,000. I had a £1,000 camera, a couple £100 mic. I invested the money that I'd earned from my beginning coaching practice, and I just made sure that I had good energy, good information, and a tasteful enough background, which is my library being well organised. Don, you're welcome. I see you in the chat, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to give business advice, within reason, of course. I'm mainly here for psychological trauma healing, but quite frankly, at this stage, about 40 to 45% of my private clients are also teachers, coaches, creatives, therapists, people who've got master's degrees, postgraduate degrees in some cases, and they see what I've done online and they want to learn a bit about how to make a profitable business based on the skills that they already have. So that's about 40% of the coaching work I do behind the scenes. Personal trauma work, personal self-integration, and business integration as well. It's kind of fun. I don't promote it too much publicly speaking, but here we are on the live stream hanging out on the frosty hillside. I'm going to take a little pace backwards and forwards. I've got my second live streaming phone, so I will be able to see what you're saying. If you leave a comment in the chat, I'll be able to come on here. See that there? And I get to Jordan Inception myself. My invitation, 2025, as we're wrapping up the live stream. Any thoughts you want to share with the group, let me know. I'm going to read them out. 2025 energy, 2025 intentions. Actually, that's the best one. Leave in the chat one of your major intentions for 2025, and I'll share mine. I'll share mine with you. I've got a very simple sentence. It's my entire year, my New Year's resolution, as it were. I'm going to share that with you, but I want to read a few of them before I share mine. You show me yours, I'll show you mine. We'll do it that way, right? Deal? New Year's intentions in the chat. Not goals, not all the superficial, like I want to make this much money. Intentions, energetics. Tell me. Come back in. I'll read them. It is beautiful. Mesmerizingly gorgeous. Let's see those New Year's intentions in the chat right now. 2025. What are we focusing on? Seeing in the chat. Dark Pixel, wisdom. From Rennie Raw, going back on the stage, making music with other people. Great intention. I see clearing out the stuff along with my mind, focus on what I truly want. That's good. Clearing, purging, focusing. Great 2025 intention. I likewise feel that very strongly. Last week I did the 48-hour fast. The cleaning, the clearing, the energetic purification, it was instrumental in me being able to relaunch the Shadow Work Library and get these group calls going. First call on Sunday. I had to clear out so I could welcome in the new energy. I support that one. I see Christopher, 2025, I'm going to improve on my creativity and focus. Very good. I see Roya in the chat, growth in all aspects. All aspects. Roya's not satisfied with just the physical aspect, or just the spiritual aspect. All aspects, physical, emotional, mental, spiritual, maybe even relational, financial, career, creativity, all aspects. Not one stone left unturned. Good intention. What else do we see? 2025 intentions. Big Red Bass, 2025, guys, we can do this. Everyone who is suffering, trying to break generational cycles, don't give up. Don't give up. Find your why and make every day count. I love that. I love it. Good energy here, good energy here. Subconscious Sarah, I've lost myself in a relationship. In 2025, I'm moving back into my personal power. Chris, I want to begin a daily meditation practice. Start with 20 minutes per day. Add it up over time. My recommendation, start with 20 minutes and then get to 30 minutes and then you could get a choice point basically between am I going to go to 40 minutes or what I like to do, 20 minutes in the morning, 20 minutes in the evening. When I'm in a meditation cycle and I really want to be consistent, I like doing 2 per day, 2 short ones. I find it creates more of a sandwiching of consciousness, as it were. But good luck with your meditation practice. I see Mike Packham is finding his purpose in 2025. Well, if you know the place in the world where you can find your purpose, let me know. I'd be interested in scouting the location because personally I want a bit of that, but also can share it with everyone here. If there is a physical place for it, Mike, let us all know. I see Holistic Dan, it's time to embody my true self. I see Uma, be more creative. I see Claire, to endeavour to live that it could be my last year on this earth, and what would I prioritise for me? Very good. To live this year as if you were dying, to live this year as if you would be dead. Claire, you know what's quite funny? I had a very similar energy about a week ago. About a week ago, I was going for a weighted walk down in the neighbourhood on the concrete late at night, about midnight, 1 a.m. And I thought, what if I worked this year as if I wouldn't get another year to work? What if I bled all of my knowledge, all of my soul into this school curriculum as if I didn't get another opportunity? I'm not fully convinced, because you have to be careful with the energetics of a situation like this. If you're saying this is going to be my last year to live, just be careful of those words and magical unconscious effect. You don't want to go too extreme into that, but to live as if this were my last year, to live as if I only had 365 days to do the work that I'm here to do. I agree, and actually my full 2025 intention, I'll share it in just a moment. Very simple, but the same idea. I see Alex in the chat, 2025 intention, to endeavour to live... No, that's not you, I just read that. Alex said, delving into writing and building more personal projects along with reading your recommended books. Fantastic. 6 recommended books down in the description, or you can go to selfintegrationschool.com. That's selfintegrationschool.com. Open it up right now. You're going to get 6 fantastic books just like Alex. Reading the recommended material, you'll go far. We also see in the chat from Catapult Lounge. I've come through a dark night of the soul and I'm loving the hermit phase. Intention, being fully present and comfortable in my skin. See Violet, I'm looking forward to growing together with you all this year. Sweet. I intend on being more transparent and speaking my needs freely. You'll enjoy the community space. Violet, if you want to join the live calls and get the opportunity to have real-time discussions, then join the community space and we'll very much get to continue the conversation together. Otherwise, we'll do the most that we can inside of the group chat here. Beautiful, see it. Beautiful. A few more and then I'll share mine and then we'll wrap up the stream. I see Alex, good to see you brother. 2025 intention, the warrior archetype. Making progress and getting PT clients and seeing some financial progress. Good stuff, my man. It is a hard life being a PT, being a freelance PT. It's very difficult to go from the gym floor to something like online or private coaching. It is very hard to make that transition from working for someone else to truly working for yourself and staying on top of the content, staying on top of the in-person sessions or having some kind of coaching, nutrition plan. Very difficult. So good luck, Alex. Honestly, good luck. I think what I'll do now to wrap up the stream, we'll take a bit of movement. Just here. My intention for 2025, are you ready? My New Year's resolution, as it were. It's very simple. Very, very simple. Almost a little bit nervous to say it, because I'm now speaking it into existence. I've been saying it in my prayers privately. I've been blessing my food at least 7, 8 times over the last week with this particular intention, privately, vocally. My one intention for 2025. Ready? I will do what needs to be done for the highest good of myself and those who I care about. And that means you. That means this community. It means my students. It means my clients. Quite frankly, the hundreds of thousands of people that I will reach this year with the channel. I just got an email from YouTube today when I came back online. 2.9 million views across the channel. I'm incredibly blessed. And for me, 2025 is a year of simplicity. I know what needs to be done. I've spent 5 years reading. 5 years. 12,000, 13,000 hours. Worked with dozens and dozens of clients, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months at a time if they do an extension. I know what people suffer from. I know what people dream of. I hear the conversations that we don't have in public because I have private conversations with people in the very darkest places. And I know what needs to be done. The reason that I've got the School of Self-Integration, the reason that today is such a special day, is because I'm publicly launching my life's work. It's taken 5 years to get to the point where I can say, this is my school. This is what I'm trying to do. The best, most holistic, high-level curriculum in existence. Because it doesn't exist out there. Conventional university settings, it does not exist. Other online coaches and teachers, God bless their hearts, it's very tempting to want to do bulk, easily accessible courses and make lots of money very quickly. I don't want to do that. I'm going to spend the entirety of this year, on top of the previous 5 years, filming in my library, down there, towards the sunset, 5 minutes down there, it's where I live, filming 3 days a week, more or less, for the next 52 weeks, ready for 2026. Best curriculum, best school, based on my intentions, quite simply. 2025, I will do what needs to be done for the highest good of myself and those who I care about. And that's you. And I'm very grateful to be here. That is my year. You've seen it here first. You can check back in. December 31st, 2025. I'm going to be the same man. Stronger, wiser. More to give, more to share. And if you're interested in getting a head start on that journey, check the link in the description. selfintegrationschool.com. I've got 6 books for you. 6 of the best books that my students love. Put your email in. I'll send that into your email inbox, and you'll also get the energetic equivalent of me providing you those 6 books as a welcome gift to get involved with the community space. It's the end of the live for today. I'll be back next Friday with hopefully another wonderful sunset. But wherever you are in the world, thank you for sharing your 2025 intentions. Thank you for sharing your time with me. I'm seeing a lot of love in the chat right now. If you enjoy talking to people in these chats, consider joining the community. We've got group chats, community discussions, live calls every Sunday, all the way through January and February, every single week. 7 o'clock until 8:30 UK time. Group calls. Me and you, a dozen other members, maybe more. What I'm trying to do is keep those calls as small as possible. If we get to the point where 20 or more people are showing up for each of those calls, I'll make a second group. I want it to be small. Those Sunday seminars are going to feel like the best seminars that you ever had at university. Small, intimate conversations, no screen recording. No screen recording. I think it's fucking awful. You're not going to join my community and then get the ability to be able to voyeuristically peek into a call that you didn't attend when someone's shown up and confidently shared about their trauma or something difficult that happened. I don't like those energetics. I don't like them at all. All business advice would say you need to make things accessible. You need to have the ability to, what if someone misses the call? I don't think it's very good from a trauma healing perspective. I want you to have the ability in the group call on Sunday, maybe even this Sunday, if you're reading a book or sharing something that's difficult or something that's challenging, that you can look around on that call and see the faces of the 10 people, the 15 people, and you get the choice to share with those people in real time, and it won't be visible the next day. It's a real-time moment. I'm trying to make it as old school as possible because I think the direction that we're going in, collectively as teachers and coaches, is the wrong direction. We're shallowing down. We're getting more superficial. We're relying on AI tools and tech optimization, and it's not the heart of coaching and teaching. It's not. We need truth, transparency, trust. And that's what we're doing in the community. Link in the description. I've said it 20 times in this live. selfintegrationschool.com. Let me send you an email. First 6 books. Let me welcome you into the community. And if you're already inside the Shadowwork library, I'm going to go back down to my home now and deliver that invitation to you. I'll see you later. I'll see you next week. And be well. Let's all do the work that we need to do for ourselves and everybody that we care about.